today I've got a huge update. I am the clinical consultant for Berries. Some of you guys already know that. I help them with product development and making Berries the most amazing AI note taker for therapists out there. So much more than a note taker, though, because over the last year, I've been working with them for a year now, we put so many amazing new features in. And I think about, I don't know, maybe 6 months ago, and I was like, we were talking in a meeting. We have a meeting every week about what we can do to make it even better. And we were talking about, you know what, we need to put a GPT in here that's super smart, HIPAA compliant. It can help therapists with their basically case conceptualization. So, it's been in the works, and this coming week, it's going to be released. I got early access to the prototype. It is blowing my mind. First of all, I can't wait to make you guys a ton of videos on this, but essentially when you're in Berries now, if you toggle off the setting, basically where it deletes the notes in 30 days or whatever, there's a setting now you can toggle on to keep your notes. So basically you're keeping a client chart inside of Berries. Of course, it's HIPAA compliant. All of that. It's safe to do that. You keep it in there. And now with this AI, HIPAA compliant GPT is what I'm calling it right now. We're still trying to decide on a name, and we might even ask your help to help us decide what we should name it. When you go in under your client's account, basically, now there's going to be a GPT in there. And again, I'm going to make a bunch of tutorials around this to show you everything you could do. I haven't even thought of all the possibilities even yet. But you're in the client chart. You can see the initial intake. If you use Berries for the initial intake, you can see your progress notes, all the progress notes that Berries has written for you in like 10 seconds from the sessions that you've had Berries turned on when you were in there. And then it's got your treatment plans in there. So in that section, you've got those three things: intake, progress notes, treatment plans. From there now, with this AI chatbot, essentially, you could type in there. So some of the examples I was doing the other day when I was playing with it, you could say, hey, can you look at all the progress notes from this client and give me a summary of everything we've done together? And this thing says, okay. And it goes and analyzes your intake and your progress notes. I think it does up to the last 3 progress notes, actually, now that I'm saying that. It analyzes all of that from the intake, the progress note, the treatment plan. It'll say, this is what you've done so far with this client. And then you can go and say something like, what interventions have I already used with this client? And it's going to say, oh, hey, it looks like you've used this intervention, this intervention, and this intervention. And then you can say, what are some interventions I haven't thought of yet that I could use for this particular client? It's going to say, have you thought of this role play exercise? So I was going down the chain of thought with this the other day, and I was like, okay, no, I haven't thought of that. And then I said, okay, role play. You said do a role play with the client. Can you give me a script? Can you write a script already so I know what to say to the client to make it the most effective when I'm working with them? And it's like, yes, I can. And it whips out this script based on the client's history, the exercise that it just suggested to me, and then it's giving me a script to do with this particular client. I was like, oh my God, this is blowing my mind. And then I was like, okay, now what else can I do with this? Because there are so many possibilities. And ever since I played with it the other day, I'm like thinking of all these new ways to use this thing. So then I said to it, all right, I'd like you to do a case conceptualization of this client based on the information that you have here. And it was like, absolutely. It analyzed the intake, the notes, and the treatment plan. And it said, here's an overall conceptualization of what has happened with this case so far. So here's how they came in. Here's what they've done so far. And then here's what their treatment plan is suggesting. And then from there, I said, based on the treatment plan we already have on file for this client, I'd like you to analyze the last 3 notes of progress that they've made and their initial intake. I'd like you to take that all into account and tell me what progress are they making towards the treatment plan goals that we have in here right now. And if this thing, you guys, this is going to blow your mind. This thing said back to me, it looked at the treatment plan, it looked at the intake, it looked at the last 3 progress notes, and it said, so far, based on how they came in the beginning in the intake and how the last 3 notes have gone, this is the progress they've made so far on their treatment. And it told me, it said for treatment plan goal number 1, they had a goal of 40%. They've met that goal and they've exceeded it. You could probably change this goal to something else. And I didn't go much farther into it, but I looked at all of them. It analyzed all the treatment plan goals. It analyzed the progress and gave me updates on every single goal. My next step would be, okay, I'd like you now to see if I can discontinue one of these goals, or should I add a new goal based on this information that you've given me here? And I'm sure it's going to generate new treatment plan goals and whatnot for the client from there. And it's so cool because you can just copy it, you could paste it, you can put it into your EHR, you could leave it in there. I mean, you could even essentially use Berries as almost an EHR at this point. If you have your own like HIPAA-compliant Zoom room, you really don't even need an EHR because this thing is keeping your notes for you. if you're private pay. Let me just say if you're private pay. It's keeping your notes for you. It's keeping your treatment plan. It's keeping your intake. And it's doing all this AI in the background. I'm just thrilled by this, and I honestly cannot wait to show it to you. I don't know the exact release date, but I've already played with it. It's amazing and perfect almost in the way that it's analyzing these cases. And I don't know what to call it, but if you're watching this and you have an idea, maybe, what should we call it? Like clinical consultant in your pocket or your consultant bot or something inside of Barry's bot, something like that. It's incredible, you guys. This is like next level AI technology for therapists. It's just blowing my mind. It's a little scary in some ways because it's literally like you've got a supervisor or a consultant sitting right there with you. They've got all the HIPAA compliant information. It can analyze it for you, and you can literally have a conversation with this bot about the clinical information and make decisions real time by just using this bot based on the client data. It is just insane. So if anybody's listening to this and you're like, wait, who are you talking about? It's Berries, BERRIES.ICU/therapist. It's incredible. So I'll be making a lot of videos to show you guys exactly how it all works. I also want to hear, like, if you had a clinical consultant basically looking over your shoulder, watching everything you're doing, your sessions, your progress notes, your treatment plan, all of that, and you had it helping you in the process, what all would this thing be able to do for you? Case conceptualization, summary of progress. You could even say, okay, great. Now can you write a discharge summary based on this, this, and this? This client has decided they don't want to continue services. You could say, write a discharge summary. It's going to write it right there for you. The GPT is going to write that for you. They even have some buttons in there already. There's an interventions button. I think there is a treatment suggestions button. I'd have to go back and look at it, but so buttons, so you don't even have to think, you can click the buttons, but then also you can just interact with it like you're talking to ChatGPT, but it's totally HIPAA compliant. You don't have to worry about, any of that. You could even say like, okay, now that we've analyzed this case, what would be a good homework assignment to give this client based on everything that we've talked about here today? And it's going to give you this information. Like, here's a homework assignment. You could tell them to go do this, this, and this. Based on the treatment plan goals that I have and the progress they've made, could you give me a new homework assignment that's going to help them go ahead and close out goal number 2, right? It's going to go look at goal number 2 of the treatment plan, the progress they've already made, and give you suggestions on how to complete that treatment goal. Incredible stuff. So I'm really excited to bring this to you all. Let me know your thoughts if you're listening to this. And this is next level. None of the other AI note takers have anything remotely as sophisticated as this. I know some of the EHRs have come out with their own therapy note AI tools. I'm seeing them getting slowly released, like these betas. They're nothing compared to this. I mean, this is like seriously next level. It's like having a consultant, supervisor, really smart therapist right over your shoulder, helping guide you through the whole process. And it's just incredible. So I'd love to hear your thoughts about it, what you think. It's blowing my mind. I can't wait to release it to you all and hear your feedback and all that stuff. And I think I'm probably going to do like a free workshop where we all just come in and kind of play with it together. I've already thought of like 10 prompts that I want to share with you guys to be able to use with this thing. Give you my prompts. Let's all play with it together. Let's all just kind of like brainstorm, like all be creative ways to be able to use this thing and just kind of do like a free, I don't know if it's a workshop, but a co-working type thing to try this out together. All of the Berries users that are already using it. So be on the lookout for information about that too. Anyway, excited, berries.icu/therapist. I'm the clinical consultant for product development. This is next level. You guys are just going to die when you say this, like I'm not even kidding. So if you haven't tried Berries yet, you want to, they give you 20 free sessions when you sign up. You don't even have to put your credit card in. You could just give it a try. And then if you want to get $50 off the first month, you can use my coupon code, and that's 50 from Kim. So 50 from KYM. Okay, bye.